Speaker of the House Paul Ryan may have just cost the Republicans the Senate. Though it's not reported on as often, the fracture in the Democratic Party is much larger and much more politically consequential than the fracture in the Republican Party. Though Hillary Clinton is poised to win all three major demographics of the Obama coalition, African Americans, Latinos, and young people, she is not posed to do so in the numbers that allowed President Obama to win re-election despite losing the white vote. With the youth vote in particular, Hillary Clinton is polling at half of what President Obama was in 2012. Numbers this low, with the two most unpopular presidential candidates ever, suggest a turnout model closer to a midterm election than a presidential one. A turnout model that strongly favors Republicans, and could guarantee a Republican victory in all but one of the 9 competitive Senate races. Donald Trump, for his part, has understood Hillary's millennial math problem. His constant rattling about Bernie Sanders' unfair treatment during the primaries, in addition from revelations from WikiLeaks and other hacks of Democratic Party personnel, and of leaked audio of Secretary Clinton talking to donors, has rendered Hillary Clinton's outreach to millennials ineffective. And in that context, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan said this to urge young Republicans to help Senator Johnson defend his seat against Russ Feingold.
If we lose the Senate, do you know who becomes the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee? A guy named Bernie Sanders. You ever heard of him? This just tells you what we would be dealing with in a divided government if we lose control of the Senate.
The independent senator from Vermont and primary rival of Hillary Clinton is the ranking Democrat on the Senate Budget Committee. He's also the most popular senator in the United States, and is especially popular among millennials, who gave him 81% of their vote during the primaries. Sanders' millennial supporters are largely flocking to third-party candidates, which also suggests that many of his more disaffected voters aren't likely to show up to the polls at all. Not only do Paul Ryan's comments excite disaffected Sanders supporters, but excites them specifically to show up on Election Day and win Democrats the Senate. Democrats need to win 5 of the 9 competitive Senate races in order to take back the Senate. With low turnout among millennials, which was the likely scenario with Secretary Clinton on the top of the ticket, 8 of those races would likely be won by Republicans. The race in Colorado is a lost cause for Republicans, as incumbent Senator Michael Bennet has a double-digit lead over his opponent Darrell Glenn. The latest Wisconsin Senate poll shows former Senator Russ Feingold reopening a solid lead over incumbent Senator Ron Johnson. The Senate race in Indiana also favors Democrats retaking a Republican-held seat. The other 6 races are competitive, however, and slightly favor the Republicans, and can easily be affected by an influx of millennial voters. The latest Nevada Senate poll shows Joe Heck within the margin of error for Senator Harry Reid's Senate seat against Attorney General Catherine Cortez Masto. Senator Marco Rubio is also within the margin of error in Florida against Congressman Patrick Murphy. In North Carolina, incumbent Senator Richard Burr has remained statistically tied with his opponent, State Representative Deborah K. Ross. Missouri's incumbent Senator Roy Blunt is facing a tightening race against Secretary of State Captain Jason Kandor. New Hampshire's incumbent Senator Kelly Ayotte is also facing a tightening race against Governor Maggie Hassan. Pennsylvania's incumbent Senator Pat Toomey is in the best shape of any of the Republicans in Senate battlegrounds, holding on to a slim lead over Katie McGinty. Exciting Bernie Sanders, rabid millennial supporters, many of which who are not planning to come out in November to vote for Clinton, and are frustrated by the Democratic establishment, could easily swing 8 of the 9 competitive Senate races to the Democrats, and do significant damage in the House. Hillary Clinton herself has been unable to sway young voters, but Speaker Ryan, reminding voters that Senator Sanders would set budget priorities in the Senate in the event of a Democratic takeover, may have given all those disaffected voters a reason to show up in November.